I was already exhausted when I got into my car. The drive home from the conference was supposed to be straightforward, just a few hours down a deserted highway. But fatigue had me making a crucial mistake. I didn't check my gas gauge. The needle was hovering close to empty. The road stretched out before me like an endless ribbon of black. The only light came from my headlights, casting an eerie, narrow beam that barely pierced the darkness. The silence was punctuated only by the hum of the engine and the occasional rustle of leaves. About an hour in, the engine started sputtering. My stomach churned as I noticed the gas gauge needle dropping to empty. I cursed under my breath, hoping to make it to the next exit, but the car shuddered and came to a halt. The engine died with a final, reluctant groan. I grabbed my flashlight and stepped out of the car, my breath visible in the cold night air. That's when I saw him, a figure standing by the roadside, dressed in a dark, hooded coat. He seemed to materialize out of nowhere. I waved, but he didn't move. I approached cautiously, hoping for a bit of help. "Hey, are you okay?" I called out. The figure turned slowly, and I saw his face, a gaunt, pale man with hollow eyes. "My car's out of gas," I explained, but he just stared at me, his expression unreadable. The man finally spoke, his voice barely a whisper. "I can help you. There's a house nearby where you can get some gas." He pointed down the road, towards a distant, faintly lit house. I was hesitant but felt I had no other choice. I followed him, keeping a safe distance. As I neared the house, I noticed it was old and decrepit, the paint peeling and windows broken. The man led me to the front door, which creaked open on its own. I hesitated, but the need for gas drove me forward. Inside, the house was eerily quiet and dark. Inside, the air was musty, and the floor creaked under my weight. I could barely make out the shape of a few old furniture pieces. But then I saw it, a pile of dusty, old photographs scattered on a table. In every picture was the same man I had followed, with different people, all looking terrified. A cold realization hit me as I looked around. The house seemed to be a trap. I turned around to leave, but the man blocked the door. "You're not going anywhere," he said. "Not until you join my collection." As I tried to push past him, the man's face twisted into a grotesque smile. Suddenly, the door burst open, and another person stood there, a police officer, looking confused. "We've been looking for you," he said. "We received reports of a stolen vehicle." Turns out, the man had been a notorious serial kidnapper who used old, abandoned houses as his lairs. I was lucky to escape with only a scare. As I drove away with the officer's help, I couldn't shake the feeling that the road, that night, had nearly become my final destination.